Today we're going to assemble the spinning round quilt. We're going to turn these quilt blocks into a fun rainbow quilt top. Hi there! Welcome to a new video on the Sugary Doo channel. My name is Irene and today we're making a quilt with these quilt blocks. This is my very first fabric collection, Robo Boogie, and with the bundle of strips and some fabric for the background, you can make a very fun quilt. This one is called Spinning Round. You can find the pattern on my web shop or at your local quilt shop, and today I want to share about how to assemble the quilt and how to do some chain piecing for assembling a quilt top. So what you need is a bundle of the strips of this fabric. Follow the pattern instructions on how to make these 8-inch blocks. These are 8 by 8 inch finished, and you will make 56 blocks of these, so that you have 6 by 7 blocks in total, which makes a 48 by 56 inch quilt. Yeah, so let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is put all my blocks on a design wall. If you don't have a big design wall like this, you can put them on the ground or lay them on your bed, but just get them all out so you can play a little bit with the design of the quilt. So the idea is that you have blocks that go from pink to pink orange. So here we have some pink blocks, and here we have a pink orange block, and then they go from orange to yellow, and then from yellow to green, and then what do we have then? So from yellow to green, and then from green they go to dark green, and from dark green they go to the more dark teal bluish kind of strips. So that is the other end of the color spectrum from my collection. So a whole bunch of blocks. These blocks, by the way, were made by Sanne. Sanne has been a great help with preparing all the quilts for this collection. So she made all these blocks and now I get to sew them together. So that's the color order that we're doing, and we're starting out at the left top corner with the pink and then moving down to the bluish colors. So here we want something with blues, and then, can you see that one? Nope. I have to put it up a little bit higher, I think. Whoa, there we go. And then at the other top, start with something pink. How far am I gonna go? All the way up here? Yeah, that's still in view. So let's see if I can fit all the blocks on here. Almost there, but not really. I had 8 by 8 in my head, but the blocks are 8 by 8 inches finished size, and the quilt should be 6 by 7. So the idea is kind of okay, but now I need to make it in the correct size. So the idea that's happening here is that I start out with complete pink blocks over here and go all the way to the complete blue blocks over there. So the color gradient is something that we have, but let's try this again. There we go, much better. Look, this looks like a quilt top to me. So now the color gradient is kind of okay, I'm happy with it. What I paid attention to was that I have, like, here's the oranges dropping in, and here is orange and yellow and pink, so that I look at kind of the next color and try to let that touch the following the next color section. How do I put this in words? So that, for example, this green has also yellow, so it should be more to the top left corner. And well, this green has the blue, so that should be more towards the blue corner. So that is what I did now. And now I have some blocks that look really similar. So for example, these two blocks and this one as well, they have the same kind of angle, and I would like to have it a little bit more mixed up. So here also these have the same kind of angle, look very similar, so I'm going to mix those up a little bit, and I guess then it's time to sew them together. Okay, great, we have the layout done. Now to sew them all together, I'm going to do something that's called chain piecing, and then chain piecing the whole top. So it's kind of a, I don't know if it's officially called web piecing, but you create a kind of a web where all the blocks are connected. First I'm going to sew these seams. So I'm going to sew these pairs of blocks together, and as soon as they are done, I will pick up this row or column as well and then sew them to these blocks. So what you create is rows of blocks, but then you, because you do chain piecing, that is continuous piecing without cutting off the thread when you finish sewing two blocks together, you will have a little piece of string thread here, so everything stays connected. I'll sew one row and then I'll show you what it looks like. So here I have my two sets of blocks. This is the first row, this is the second row, and now I just need to make sure that I sew them together at the center seam. So I will put these on top of each other and then sew them together. Then I will pick up the next two blocks, sew them together in one long row of blocks. And I think blocks that are 8 inches, I think I will be fine with not pinning these, so I will just go and sew them. There it is, one long row of blocks sewn together. And because we have the color gradient, it's easy to see that this is the top of the row, this is the bottom of the row. So what happens now is that I will open up every set of blocks. Well, let's first find the top one, this one. I will open up the set of blocks and then I will sew together the right block plus a new one. So let's get the blocks from here. There we go. So now I will take this row, take it down, not you, we don't need you. Stay put. There we go. So I took down the next row. I will put this next to my sewing machine. So let me show you the setup. So here we have the row. I will put this on my lap, and this is the first two blocks of the row. So this is the top left block of the quilt and its neighbor, and then the next one is going to go over here. So I will put this on here. I haven't ironed or opened up the seams or anything from the previous blocks. That's not necessary yet. You can just continue sewing. So here I put the next one together. There we go, that is sewn together, and then you get to the next row, and there again you open up the blocks, take the third block of that row, position it, sew it, and then you get all the blocks in the correct order in your quilt. So there we have a whole pile of blocks and they are all sewn together. Want to see what that looks like? Well, let's grab the top row. Where is it? Here it is. That is what that looks like. So it's almost a quilt top, but only the rows are not connected yet. Next step is to give this a press, and I will show you how I do that, and then sew the rows together. But I think it already looks really cool. Pressing a chain pieced quilt top like this is not rocket science. It's not that complicated. You just need to know just need to know which rows to press in which direction. So what I like to do is to press the first row to one side and then the second row to the other side. And what that does is that I will have this row pressed to that direction and this row pressed to that direction. And then let's hope that I can get this in focus nicely. So then you can sew your rows together with nesting seams. So I pressed this one to that direction and I press the bottom one to that direction, and then you get nesting seams which you can nicely snuggle into each other and then put a pin in there, and then you get the corners of your block really nicely and neatly. So that is the idea. So go ahead and press one of the rows to one direction and the other one in the opposite direction. And that's it. It's not more complicated than that. But yeah, you just need to know the steps. So go ahead and press your whole quilt top. Then after that, we will meet again at the sewing machine. Well, before we go to the sewing machine, we need to pin these rows together. I think that's easiest, since it's getting quite big now, this whole project. And this is also the part where you might think, well, this is not for me. I'm just clipping off all the threads and then sew it together row by row. That's also completely fine. If it's getting too big to handle for you, then just go ahead and clip all the rows, and then you still have them pressed in alternating directions. So what I'm doing with pinning is I'm folding the top two layers on top of each other, and then I'm nesting the seams. So I'm grabbing two seams, and then just give it a little wiggle and put a pin in there. Then you know that that corner is going to be nice and neat. And I don't really pin the rest of the block, but you could place a pin halfway. But I'm only going to pin at the seams. There we go, final one. Let's see, did I press it in the right direction? Might not. I think I did this one in the wrong direction. There we go. Yes, and then a pin in the corner. And then I can sew this row together, and then the top two rows will be joined together. there we go, the first 2 rows joined together, and look at those corners. That is so neat. It's not perfect, but I think it's as perfect as it will get. So row 1, row 2 are joined, and I will repeat this process and join the other rows as well. Ta-da! And there it is, all the rows joined together. And in the meantime I also quilted it and put on a lovely stripy binding. I put on a yellow back just to make everything bright and happy. But this is the final look when you have all the rows joined together. So there it is, the spinning round quilt. The pattern is now available, as are the Robo Boogie fabrics. So if you're looking for a kit for this quilt, then you need to get a strip pie that has all the strips that you need for this quilt and your background fabric, or you can just order the kit in complete form in the Shuguru web shop. So there it is. I hope you like this tutorial of joining these blocks together, and maybe you're going to give this quilt a try. I would love to see it. So if you do make this, please tag me on Instagram or Facebook at Shuguru so I can see what you're making. Thank you so much for watching and quilting along, and I hope to see you in a new video next week. Bye!